Raymond Ellison is 73 and lives alone on Social Security, and he is a careful man. He never splurges. He clips the odd coupon. Yet last winter his daughter sat down at his kitchen table with 3 months of his bank statements, and by the time she finished, she had found $500 a month leaking out of his accounts. Not $1 of it was reckless spending. It was mistakes, quiet, invisible, and costing him a fortune he never saw leave. The single biggest mistake underneath all the others is number 1 on this list. A poor man's whole strength was that he watched every dollar and questioned every price. Somewhere along the way we stopped watching, put everything on autopilot, and let the leaks run. These aren't the mistakes of careless people. They're the mistakes of good people who were never told where to look. Raymond's story runs through everything that follows. Number 23 is a benefit that pays your Medicare premium, and most who qualify never claim it. Number 12 is a product sold to seniors that almost never pays off. And number 1 is the mistake underneath all $500. These 25 mistakes aren't about being foolish. They're about the traps built to catch people who stop looking. Hit that subscribe button. Let's count them down. Number 25. Never reviewing the bill line by line. The most expensive mistake a senior makes is trusting autopay to be honest. Cable, phone, insurance, and utility companies raise rates and add fees quietly, and autopay pays them without a blink. You read every bill in full each month, comparing it to the last. Raymond had 3 separate price creeps running that he'd never noticed. A $15 increase here and an unwanted renewal there quietly consume money that should go to groceries. The companies count on autopilot doing their collecting. Not laziness, a leak that runs until the day you finally look. Number 24. Staying in the wrong Medicare plan. This is one of the costliest mistakes there is, and almost nobody fixes it. Most seniors never comparison shop during open enrollment, so they stay in a plan that no longer fits their prescriptions or pay for Medigap coverage they don't need. Even a small plan mismatch costs $1,000 to $3,000 a year. You review your plan every open enrollment against your actual medicines. Raymond had been in the same plan for 6 years without a glance. Part D drug lists change every year, and a plan that fit last year can quietly stop fitting this one. Not a safe default, a mismatch quietly billing you thousands. Number 23. Not claiming a Medicare savings program. This is the benefit that pays your Medicare Part B premium outright, $202.90 a month back in your pocket, and most who qualify never apply. The programs go by QMB, SLMB, and QI, and many seniors assume their income is too high when it isn't, since the rules differ from Medicaid. You apply through your state, and your coverage never changes. Raymond qualified and had been paying that premium out of pocket for years. Some who narrowly miss Medicaid still qualify because these programs count income a different way. Not an entitlement. A premium you should never have been paying. Number 22. Never applying for extra help. Seniors leave a fortune in prescription savings unclaimed here every year. Extra help, the low-income subsidy, cuts your Part D premiums, deductibles, and copays, and it's worth thousands a year. But many never apply because they wrongly think it's only for people on Medicaid. You apply through Social Security in one form, any time of year. Raymond's drug costs fell to a fraction once he did. Not a handout, a subsidy he'd already earned across 40 years of work. Number 21. Carrying a credit card balance. This is the mistake that quietly bleeds the most. Many seniors carry balances for medical bills, home repairs, or helping adult children at interest rates now often above 20%. On a fixed income, that balance never shrinks, but it grows, draining $100 a month or more into interest alone. You attack the balance before anything else and stop adding to it. Raymond was carrying a small balance that cost him more each month than his phone bill. Interest above 20% is brutal when the income never rises to meet it. Not a convenience, a chain that tightens every month you carry it. Number 20. Never negotiating the cable and phone. The price on the bill is a starting offer, and paying it without a word is the mistake. You call, say you're thinking of leaving, and let them route you to the retention department whose whole job is keeping you, a lower rate you never knew existed, appears. Raymond cut $30 a month in one 10-minute call he'd avoided for 3 years. The provider bets you'll never pick up the phone. Not stubbornness saved. A loyalty penalty you pay only because you stay silent.
Before we go on, I made something special for you. Guides for people like us who still believe the old ways mattered. They're the forgotten money habits our grandparents lived by, tricks that could save you thousands a year. But this knowledge is disappearing, and once it's gone for good. I've put together 2 books for you plus a free bonus. Imagine how much you could save over the next year by starting today. Scan the QR code on screen now or click the link below. I'll wait.
Number 19. Paying for subscriptions you forgot. Streaming services, magazine renewals, app fees, club memberships, and identity protection plans all run on auto-renewal, and once income is fixed, they add up fast. The mistake is never looking. You pull the statement, circle every recurring charge, and cancel what you don't use. Raymond found a service still charging him that he hadn't opened in over a year. Most people forget what they're paying until they read the statement line by line. The companies count on you forgetting it exists. Not harmless? $40 a month for things you already stopped using. Number 18. Keeping insurance you no longer need. Insurance companies never call to tell you you're overpaying, so the mistake is trusting the policy to stay right. Old life insurance, overlapping supplemental coverage, car insurance not adjusted for low mileage, home policies never requoted in years, all of it quietly wastes money. You requote every policy and drop what no longer fits. Raymond was paying for a life policy he no longer needed and a car premium built for a commute he'd retired from. Not protection. Coverage you're buying out of pure habit. Number 17. Never asking for the senior discount. Half the discounts in this country are never advertised, and the mistake is assuming the sticker price is the only price. You ask at the pharmacy, the grocery, the hardware store, the utility, every single time. Used consistently, senior discounts save hundreds of dollars a year on things you already buy. Raymond had never once asked, and was startled how often the answer was yes. The worst reply is no, and no costs nothing. Not pride worth keeping. Full price paid for want of a single question. Now stop and add it up, because this is where $500 stops being a headline and becomes plain arithmetic. The wrong Medicare plan alone costs up to $250 a month. The unclaimed premium program is another $200. The credit card interest, $100 or more. The unused insurance, $50 to $100. The forgotten subscriptions, $40. The unnegotiated cable, another $50. Stack even most of those, and $500 a month is not a stretch, it's a floor. And here is the hard part. None of these are the mistakes of reckless people. They're invisible because the whole system is built to make doing nothing the expensive choice. This year's cost of living raise was about $56 a month, and the Medicare Part B premium climbed to $202.90, eating nearly a third of it. Senior poverty is at 15%, the highest of any age group, and $58 billion in benefits goes unclaimed every year. The mistakes aren't foolish. They're just unseen. Number 16. Paying the copay when cash is cheaper. The insurance copay is not always the lowest price, and assuming it is, costs real money. You ask the pharmacist to run your generic both ways, through insurance and with a discount app like GoodRx, and pay whichever is lower. A drug that's $15 on your copay might be $5 with a coupon. Raymond cut a maintenance drug to a third by asking one question. On some prescriptions, the cash coupon price is a fraction of what the insurance runs. You're never required to use insurance when cash beats it. Not a rule you must follow. A lower price sitting right there at the counter. Number 15. Never applying for energy help. The heating and cooling bill wrecks a fixed income, and the mistake is paying it alone when help exists. LIHEAP pays a lump sum straight to your utility, and the free weatherization program seals your home permanently for hundreds in yearly savings. You apply through your local community action agency, and seniors get priority. Raymond had never heard of either until his daughter found them. The weatherization crew seals the drafts that make the bill high in the first place. Not a bill you must simply absorb. Help you leave on the table by never asking. Number 14. Skipping the free benefits screening. The biggest mistake of all is not knowing what you qualify for. The National Council on Aging's free benefits checkup tool screens you against thousands of programs at once. Food, utilities, healthcare, prescriptions. You run it in one sitting, and it hands you a list. Raymond ran it, and 6 programs came back he'd never known about. Most seniors never do, which is how $58 billion goes unclaimed. Not charity. A free 10 minutes that shows you exactly what's yours. Number 13. Not claiming the property tax break. For a homeowner, this is one of the largest bills there is, and letting it go unquestioned is a costly mistake. Nearly every state offers a senior homestead exemption, a freeze, or an appeal that cuts the bill by hundreds or thousands, and only a small fraction of eligible seniors ever claim it. You file one form at the county assessor's office. Raymond had overpaid for years and filed an appeal that cut his bill. Not a fixed cost, a break written into the law that you have to reach out and take. Number 12. Buying warranties, alert plans, and travel clubs. Retailers market aggressively to older adults with products that rarely pay off. Extended appliance warranties, overpriced medical alert plans, travel clubs, and phone add-ons all drain money for little return. You decline the warranty, shop the medical alert device on the open market, and skip the club. Raymond was paying for 2 add-ons he never used and a warranty on an appliance he'd already replaced. A single crown or a hearing aid can run thousands, but a warranty on a cheap appliance rarely pays. Not peace of mind. A product built to profit from your caution. Number 11. Ignoring the quiet fee creeps. Utilities and providers add new fixed charges and surcharges that have nothing to do with what you use, and the mistake is never catching them. One utility is adding a base service charge of about $24 a month, regardless of usage. You read the breakdown, not just the total, and call to challenge new fees. Raymond caught a new charge on his gas bill and had part of it waived. Not too small to matter. A fee designed to slip past a customer who never reads the fine print. Number 10. heating and cooling the whole oversized house. Housing is usually the biggest expense, and many retirees heat and cool a home sized for a family that moved out decades ago. The mistake is paying to condition rooms nobody uses. You close off the unused rooms, seal the drafts, and heat where you actually live, or, for some, downsize entirely. Raymond shut the vents in 2 spare rooms and pulled his life into the warm center of the house. Heating and cooling is roughly half of a home's energy bill, so the empty rooms cost the most for nothing. Not comfort you need. Money spent to warm empty air. Now go back to the year this all started for Raymond, because the mistakes didn't appear overnight. For 40 years, his wife had handled the money, the bills, the statements, the plans, and she handled it like a hawk. When she passed, Raymond kept paying things the way they came, because looking closely felt like touching something that was hers. The auto pay ran, the plans went unshopped, the subscriptions renewed, the premiums climbed. It wasn't carelessness, it was grief, and a quiet belief that the bills must be right because she would have caught it if they weren't. Then, last winter, his daughter sat down with the statements and gently showed him the truth, and it wasn't a judgment, it was a relief. Every leak they closed was a small act of taking the reins back. By spring, Raymond was watching his money again, the way his own father once had, and the way his wife always had. That is where the last mistakes on this list get fixed. Number 9. Not tracking where the money goes. You can't fix a leak you can't see, and the root mistake is never looking at the whole picture. You write down every dollar in and every dollar out for 1 month, the real numbers, not guesses. Most seniors have never once seen theirs on paper. Raymond filled 4 pages the first month and finally saw where it all went. The leaks only become fixable once they're written in a column, not a chore. The one step that makes every other fix possible. Number 8. Buying name brands out of habit. The store brand and the name brand often come off the same line, and paying double for the label is a quiet mistake. Flour, canned goods, frozen vegetables, basic medicine, the contents match, and the price is often half. You switch every staple where the thing inside is identical. Raymond cut a quarter off his grocery bill without a change in taste, once his daughter lined the 2 cans up side by side. Not lower quality, the same product minus the cost of the advertising. Number 7. Eating out instead of cooking. Convenience food and restaurant meals carry the steepest markup there is, and leaning on them is a costly habit. You cook the simple things yourself, a pot of soup that runs a couple of dollars and feeds you all week. Raymond learned a handful of easy meals and stopped picking up so much prepared food. His late wife had cooked from scratch for 50 years. Not a treat you deserve less of. A markup you pay every time the kitchen sits cold. Number 6. Buying on impulse. The unplanned purchase is where a careful budget quietly bleeds. Before you buy anything that isn't food, rent, or medicine, you wait 2 days. If you still want it, you buy it, and if you forgot, you had your answer. Raymond found most of what he almost bought he couldn't even remember a week later. Most wants don't survive the pause, not deprivation, letting time sort the real needs from the passing ones. Number 5. Not knowing your own prices. A senior who doesn't know the real price of things is easy to fool, and that's the mistake. You keep a small notebook of what you pay most, so a fake sale is obvious and a quiet increase gets caught early. Raymond checks his list against the tags now and has caught a dozen sales that weren't. A special is only a deal to someone who doesn't know the regular price, not obsessive. The one habit that makes every marketing trick useless. Number 4. Letting wants creep upward. Lifestyle. Creep is a mistake that hides as normal life, the upgrade, the newer model, the thing a neighbor bought. A person who does not question their wants gets sold endlessly and slides into debt keeping up. You decide what enough is, and you hold there. Raymond stopped measuring himself against the ads and found the wanting quieted on its own. Not going without. The plain refusal to be sold something new every season. Number 3. Being too proud to claim help. The saddest mistake on this list is a senior going without help they earned because asking feels like charity. Every benefit here, the food programs, the premium help, the energy aid, was paid for by a lifetime of work and taxes. You claim what's yours without shame. Raymond nearly refused to apply for anything until his daughter reminded him he'd paid in for decades. Not a handout. Money set aside for exactly this, waiting on your name. Number 2. Trying to manage it all alone. The mistake that lets every other mistake hide is having no second set of eyes. A trusted family member, a free counselor at the senior center, or a ship advisor for Medicare can provide one honest review that catches what you can't see alone. Raymond's leaks stayed invisible for years until his daughter sat down with him for one afternoon. There is no shame in help, only in going without it. Not weakness. The plain wisdom of letting someone check your blind spots. Number 1. Assuming every bill, plan, and price is fixed and final. Here is the mistake underneath all the others, the one that cost Raymond most of his $500. He believed the bills were simply the bills, set, correct, non-negotiable, and so he never checked, never asked, never shopped, and let everything run on autopilot for years. It almost never is fixed. The Medicare plan can be changed, the premium can be covered, the bill can be negotiated, the subscription can be canceled, the benefit can be claimed, the price can be beaten. Every dollar on this list was leaking precisely because he assumed there was nothing to be done, and the entire system is built so that assuming nothing can be done is the most expensive choice you can make. The day Raymond stopped assuming and started checking, the $500 came back almost on its own. The mistake was never foolishness. The mistake was believing the bill was telling the truth. It usually isn't, and the moment you stop believing it, everything tilts back your way. None of this required a bigger check, a financial advisor, or a single dollar Raymond didn't already have. It required attention, the willingness to look at every bill and plan plainly without the assumption that it was already right. The men and women who called themselves poor understood something this country forgot, that the whole game is watching your own money, questioning every price, and refusing to run on autopilot. These mistakes are not the mistakes of foolish people. They're the mistakes of good people who trusted a system that profits from their trust. Raymond Ellison is 73, and he found $500 a month that had been leaking out of his life for years, not because he was careless, but because no one had ever shown him where to look. His father watched every dollar. His wife watched every dollar. And the day Raymond started watching again, he stopped being the man the system quietly overcharges and became the man his family raised him to be. The bills were never fixed, and the plans were never final. They only looked that way to a man who had stopped checking, and the moment he started again, everything changed.